In case you couldn't tell from the title, this video is part 2 in an ongoing series documenting my playthrough of Persona 4 Golden. I just wanted to clarify, I'm not going over every little thing that happens in this run. These games take 65 hours when playing normally, so trust me when I say you don't want to see that. So far in our journey, we've defeated strange foes, made new friends, and died. Like, a lot. All in pursuit of our truth. What awaits our heroes next? Follow me on Twitch or subscribe to see me live. Anyway, last time we left off, we had just finished Yukiko's dungeon and had entered the downtime game from finishing dungeons early. After rescuing a victim from the TV, the remaining time till the deadline is free for us to make use of as we see fit. In the second playthrough, this time will be vital for advancing social links, but for now we are freer in how we spend it. There are a few achievements, however, that we need to spend our free time in order to accomplish. For example, we need to eat at Ayaya in order to unlock a book for the compulsive reader achievement. A list of these achievements should be on screen now. These achievements won't take up a lot of time, but they are still something to keep in mind, since completing them now will help with scheduling for maxing out social links later. Back to the plot, after letting Yukiko recover, we question her on the roof, only to find that she doesn't know much more than us. She decides to join the team and we finally have a full party, which, trust me, makes a major difference. Yukiko will largely function as your healer, learning different versions of Dia and Media. She also has a large SP pool, meaning you won't have to worry too much about running out. For attacking, she gets access to fire and dark skills only, with no physical skills. Overall, she's a great addition to the team and will be a permanent member of the party. Afterwards, we go home and Dojima makes yet another empty promise to Nanako. You know, I would make a comment about how much therapy she's gonna need when she gets older, but this will be far from the most traumatic thing that ends up happening to her over the course of this game. Thankfully, you and the gang are to the rescue and end up spending time with her over the break. We then meet a fox who just has the funniest little animation and model. I don't know what it is about him, I think maybe his model is a bit too long. Whatever it is, I love this little dude. After we ace our exams, we start to hear about some delinquent in a biker gang, Kanji. Well, we check the Midnight Channel and realize that he's the next target. The investigation team tries, and fails, to keep him from being kidnapped. So we go into the TV to rescue him, but Teddy can't find him. See, now before being able to enter a dungeon, we need to do an investigation on the person we're looking for. This involves going around and talking to every NPC with hopes of finding the right person to trigger the proper flags. This first one isn't too bad, but future ones can end up having you waste multiple days if you're not careful. Honestly, no shame if you end up looking up what to do in these sections. With that done, we can finally go after Kanji in the steamy bathhouse. This dungeon is mostly the same as Yukiko's in terms of progression. We just need to make it to the top floor by finding the stairs on each floor. We say hi to Shadow Kanji on the second floor, who is just his own can of worms. On the 7th floor, we run into the mini-boss of the dungeon, a daring Gigas. The boss has a rather simple pattern, charging, then boosting attack, then boosting crit rate. After all of that, it attacks, and then repeats the pattern. The boss's pattern is pretty easy to exploit since it will only attack after fully buffing itself, and it will only target a single person when attacking. So as long as you isn't the target, you can just keep on reviving whoever he kills. You should have plenty of reviving items if you've been grinding chests while grinding XP. Just lay on the damage and it will go down. Just remember it has a counter. From there, it should be a straight shot to the boss. But before we go in, it's time for everyone's favorite thing, grinding! Now, I was level 16 when I got to the top floor, which is nowhere near where I needed to be. For this boss, I got up to level 22 since Shadow Kanji is level 24. After about 3 hours of grinding, I was where I needed to be. Now, the golden hands in this dungeon can't really be killed with items the same way that the ones in Yukiko's can. Instead, just lay onto them with physical skills and hope they cooperate long enough for you to win. Persona-wise for this, I mainly use Archangel, Phoenix, Jack Frost, and Fornius. They all have good stats for this point in the game and are able to hit the weaknesses I need. Plus, Archangel came with Media as a fusion forecast bonus. Now onto the boss. I'm not gonna lie, this ended up being a lot easier than I thought it would be. The boss fight has us going against Shadow Kanji, Nice Guy, and Tough Guy. Nice Guy is weak to ice, and Tough Guy fire, so we can use that to our advantage to take them out as soon as possible. If you're not fast enough, they'll use White Wall and Red Wall, so prioritize taking them out as soon as possible. Once they're down, all that's left is Shadow Kanji. Now he can be a little annoying since he can inflict poison on male party members and rage on female. But as long as you give you a persona with Mipatra, you should be fine. Yeah, it can't cure poison, but the poison usually didn't give me too much trouble anyways. Rage is a bigger issue since it takes away control. The only other thing to remember is to guard when he uses power charge, but other than that, as long as you play well, you should beat him in no time. I managed to do it on my first try. There we go, nice. Afterwards, Kanji punches his shadow in the face, accepts himself for who he is, and gains his persona, Take Mikazuchi. With that, the gang leaves the TV and lets him get some rest as well as time to process what just happened. We get back home only for Dojima to grill us on what we're doing, and while we avoid the question for now, he's definitely suspicious of us. We spend the next few days growing social links until Kanji finally recovers and is able to talk about what happened. After some discussion, Kanji joins the team. Kanji's main role in combat is as a physical damage dealer. He has a lot of health and can output some crazy damage if you set him up right. He also has access to electric attacks if you need to hit a weakness, but I recommend mainly sticking to physical attacks with him, especially since he has rather low SP. Also, he uses a random assortment of heavy objects as his weapons, and I just think that's hilarious. Now begins my least favorite section of the game, the obligatory section where the boys fail to pick up women, and the camping trip. Oh boy, the camping trip. Thankfully, most of these parts are just cutscenes, so they can be fast-forwarded through, although I did find out you could pet a cat during the flirting section, so I guess that makes it slightly better. I don't want to go into detail, but let's just say the boys couldn't pick up girls to save their lives. Yosuke is just the worst, and I feel bad for Kanji. With that behind us, rumors of an idol, Rize, coming to town are spreading. And like clockwork, the Midnight Channel is showing a new face. So the boys, along with everyone else in town, go to the shop where she's working to try and catch a glimpse of her. We end up getting the chance to talk to her and warn her to be careful. One shenanigan with a creep later, and she's gone. Man, that killer works fast, huh? Well, you all know the drill. One investigation later, and we're in the TV. This brings us to Rize's dungeon, Maru Kiyu Striptease. Man, this game is weirdly horny sometimes. Anyways, same deal as the others when it comes to progression. We find a mini-boss on the 7th floor. When I first went to face it, I was underleveled and died rather quickly, so I went back to the bathhouse and grinded Golden Hands. The Golden Hands in the current dungeon were a bit too annoying to consistently defeat, and the ones in the bathhouse still gave enough XP to be viable. After getting to a proper level, we go back to face the boss, the Amorous Snake. Now, this guy's whole deal is getting you with status effects. It starts the battle by using Stagnant Air and Virus Wave before you can even do anything. It also has Mind Slice for more fun. The way I went through this was by using Rakshasa, which I had fused after grinding. It resists physical skills, has counter, and has strong physical attacks of its own. I just made sure to keep up the damage while keeping everyone's health high with Yukiko. Some of my party may have died, but hey, who cares about the small details like that? Now we can go straight up to the boss, and then right back to the bathhouse for some golden hand grinding. Don't worry, we're only going up to level 33 at this time. With me being level 30, it didn't take much time at all. For personas, I use Rakshasa, Jack Frost, Matador, and Unicorn. The Shadow Rize fight is probably the easiest boss fight in the entire game. All you need to do is get her health down to 2/3, and she will end up making herself invincible. After that, keep guarding, and the fight is over. We end up seeing a quick cutscene where Teddy ends up saving the day, and Shadow Rize is defeated. Rize takes all of this rather well, and ends up with her persona, Himiko. Now, you may be wondering why we even bothered grinding. Well...
Come on! ダメ、下がって。あの子の中から何か。本当、自分。
And again, what is, in my opinion, the creepiest shadow self. Yeah, I failed to mention, but pretty much this entire time, Teddy's been having an existential crisis about his true nature. Hearing Rize say that there is no true her was enough to push him over the edge. We end up in what I consider to be the true boss fight of this level against Shadow Teddy. Now this guy, he can become your worst nightmare if you don't come in prepared. For most of the fight, he attacks with ice or physical skills, but will switch to a rather annoying almighty attack that knocks you down as well when his health gets lower. He can also lower your party's defense, silence your party, get rid of any stat boosts, and charge his attacks. At a certain point, he will also use a multi-turn charging move, but honestly, it's more helpful than anything else. See, it takes him a turn to charge before attacking, so you can get a free turn in to do as you please before guarding and nullifying the attack. You can also do something similar with Charge, as long as you have the right persona, since he always uses an ice move after that. So my overall strategy for this fight was to deal damage with Kanji and Yosuke, while focusing on healing with Yu and Yukiko. By doing this, I was still dealing constant damage while keeping everyone healthy. I made sure to bring a persona with the Kunda into the boss to negate any stat drops. You also want to bring items that can cure silence for both individual members and the whole party. Other than that, all I can say is you're gonna have to play smart. He has a lot of health and can deal a lot of damage in one turn, so you can't let the healing get away from you. Oh, and bring some SP recovery items as well. I had to top up Yu and Yukiko once during the fight, but if you can keep it up, eventually he goes down. Oh, thank God! Oh, I thought I was going to lose there for a second. Oh boy. There we go. Teddy accepts his shadow and gains his persona, Kentoki Doji. Yeah, Teddy gets a persona too, and his design is, well, it suits him. With all that said, we find ourselves at the end for now. We still have quite a way to go before reaching any kind of final conclusion, but until then, I hope you'll join me again.